Okay, I think I've hit the right button, and from what I can see, I think we're now live. We have a few people in the room. Once I finish the introductions and Lynne takes over, I'll mute my microphone, and we'll also kill our videos as well, and hopefully that won't take up as much bandwidth, and then you should see a nice clear presentation on what Lynne will be presenting over the next hour.
Thanks a lot, Paul. Okay. What is search engine optimization? It's otherwise known as SEO. Everyone bangs on about it. It's really important, regardless of what anyone tells you. It's the #1 thing that Google needs to have organized in your website so they can find your website. I've just brought up on my screen now a typical Google search. And I've put in here, you see my mouse, I've put in here Grampians accommodation farm cottages. I'm looking for a farm cottage in the Grampians. So what comes up first? Stays, Grampian Halls Gap, somebody who's bought an ad, as you can see with a little 80 there. Now, whoever pays for an ad, this is called a Google ad, or it's called search engine marketing, SEM, whoever pays for that gets to the top of the pile here. And sometimes you'll see them, let me just, sometimes you'll see them here too. What's really important is that this little thing here, and that's called a local regional listing. Nothing ranks better than this bit here. Sometimes you might do a search for a restaurant and a whole lot of these little Google. So if you're not coming up on these, it's really crucial that you do. And how do you get into this space? This is Google Places. When we do the workshop, we'll go into a bit of depth about Google Places. And if you were thinking about going out and having a sleeve tattoo on your arm, Places, it's that important. So SEO happens on this side. Over here, social media happens. So on this side over here, I just want to point out, I get terribly excited with colours here. I want to point out something, a little bit about how a thing called Google thinks. This bit here, written in blue or purple because I've clicked on it, it's called a page title. This bit here, it's called a page description or meta description. Happy if anyone at a time wants to ask a question about what I'm talking about, because it does get confusing, and as you can see, I get very excited with the tech stuff. So this is the first place. Google looks. This is the second place. Google looks to find your web page. The Google search is all related to what the consumer puts in here. One of the big things we make a mistake in search engine optimizing our website is that often we think we know, as individual product operators, we think we know what search words people put in. We'll show you a tool at our workshop that'll show you some alternative things people put in for search. So in this instance, I put in Grampian accommodation farm cottages. So what Google has done is taken those as 4 individual words and also looked upon it as a row of words, keyword phrase. When you come down here, you can see the word farm cottages. You can see the word Grampians. They directly relate up here. So this page is optimized for those words that are put in. The next place Google goes is, well, okay, there might be a few farm cottages in the Grampians at South Mkanga. Let me go down and have a look what's in their meta description. Now, your meta description sits in the back end. Both 1 and 2 are in the back end of your website. And if you haven't built the website yourself and someone has built it for you, you may or may not have these very important page titles and page descriptions on your website. Again, when we're at the workshop, we'll actually run a tool over what we call your back end, the stuff, and we'll wear gloves. Behind the scenes, we'll have a look back end of your website and see, in fact, if you have optimized. I think the other thing that's really, really important to remember is that, well, I'm gonna ask you, I'm gonna let you do some work at the moment. Can you type in how many pages your websites are? He's got 5. Great. What's in the world of internet, it doesn't matter how many pages you have. Thank you. It doesn't matter how many pages you have. What's in, as in size, doesn't matter. What we need to realise is, we look at Liz Mitchell. She's probably got about 15. In the eyes of a Google search engine, she has 15 different websites. Jeanette Clark has 10 different websites. So what's really important is that when we start talking about SEO and keywords phrases, they need to be applied to each page or website. However, so you would only have the keywords Grampians accommodation farm cottages for one page of your website. Another page for that client may very well be romantic getaway in a farm cottage, Grampians. So you name different pages so you have more bites at the cherry if a customer is putting in a search. And what's really, really hard is that up here in this part up here, 25% every day, 25% of the searches put in are unique. We're starting to put words in and looking more specific information. We used to just put in accommodation Victoria. Now we're getting quite specific. We might want farm cottages. We might romantic, executive, beachside, countryside. So when you look at the priority of where you should be in a website, in a Google search, this is it. You've got to make sure you Google places. Now that's really a complex thing to explain without we're sitting face to face, but it's highly likely every one of you in the room has some form of Google place. What's critical is that you have verified. So Google's gone and done a couple of things actually. It's gone and said, geez, we just rely on 1 or 2 words in there, and only a couple of million websites around the world, so it's going to be easy to bring the right one up for what the customer wants. Now all of a sudden there's millions of web pages going up every day. The searches are getting more complex. Google's saying, hang on a minute, we actually need to bring in this thing called social media into search. So Google is saying these days you need to be popular with consumers. You need to have reviews written about you because that will help you rank better. And that's going to be incredibly important moving forward. We cannot ignore the TripAdvisors, the what people say about you in booking.com or what if, and more importantly, what are they starting to say about you in this thing called Google Places, because people can make comments about your product even through Google Maps. So online reputation is really quite important. The other thing I'll just say on search engine optimization is you need to be making changes to at least 1 page in your website a month. And a change would involve one of 3 things. 1, you change 100 words on 1 page, and that's not move the top paragraph to the second paragraph. That's actually rewriting it using what we're starting to use. And again, we'll cover that in the workshop. So at the moment, you might say you're accommodation in Traralgon, or you're competing against everyone else that says accommodation in Traralgon. So what we need to do is differentiate you, because that's what your clients do. So one thing is to change content on one of your pages monthly. The other thing is the next thing you can do on another page is change a couple of images over. And the other thing you can do, it's always really good, and I'm sure you've already got it, is to have a what's on page or a things to do page. And there's always some new things coming on. It could be that a festival's just happened, so you want, you're going to put up next year's festival dates. Google likes change, because if you do the old thing like we used to, print a brochure in January and didn't worry about reprinting until the next January, and the information just stayed on it, stagnant and still, Google doesn't like that. So if the Google bots, they call them, if they crawl all over your back end and go, hasn't been on here for a while, then come back again in 3, 6, 9, or 12 months' time, and there's been no changes to any of your pages, they could deem you as a dead site. And once that happens, that's just really very, very bad. So we need to kind of diarise to make changes. And young Paul, is it true that sites that are not mobile friendly may lose their ranking on Google? Apps, very current and very now information. That is indeed a fact. And there's a great tool I found on the Australian Tourism Digital Distribution, it's too long to say, on LinkedIn the other day. And we'll show you that in the workshop. You can actually put your URL in, and Google will tell you if it thinks you have a mobile friendly site, whether it's mobile responsive or mobile friendly. You will be penalized by Google if you do not have a responsive website, which means that your website goes down to fit inside the screen of a phone, push it up. So today's websites have this funky little bit of software in the back that you can just say, make mobile responsive, and your website comes up in a very different manner on a phone or a tablet or a phablet, which is the new bigger phones they're bringing out now. Any questions on that little segment on search engine optimizing and how important it is?
And now's your chance, folks. If anyone's got any questions on anything to do with search engine optimization, while you're thinking about it, please remember to type it in your chat box if you have a question so we can see that. But Lynne, what about other search engines like Bing, for example?
Yeah, that's a very good question. A lot of new computers you're buying these days are already linked up with Bing. Lots of search engines, Bing, Yahoo, and Google Plus, and Google. Google has 95% of the share of the market, so you certainly want to fish where the fish are. But what's really, really important is that if not you, then your web developer needs to do something that's called submitting your website URL to the search engines. You should not make the assumption that you've built a website, up it goes live, you can see it, your relatives can see it, but you actually need to tell the search engines it's there. It should only take 20 minutes of somebody's time, and it's free software to do it, but you really need to go and say, hey, everybody, we're online. The other thing that's really, really helpful to Google is if you have a sitemap on your website. This is one that we've built and that we manage, and we'll go on and change a special offer on. So we will change one of these at least monthly. Why? Because if you click on that, it takes you through to another page. So what you're actually, it's not going to do it for me now. Yes, it is. There it is. What you're doing is when we make changes to that image or what sits behind that image, you're effectively taking it, you are actually playing another page, just happens to be their booking page. So also, just while we're on things like booking buttons, just take this home, I don't want to make you giddy. You'll notice that on websites, newish websites these days, you're starting to see more and more, come back, booking buttons on every single page of the website. I don't even know if these days you really need a contact us page, but people like to have a, could be where you put a more street address or post office box or your ABN, but it's really crucial to have your booking button facility on every page. Anthony, you've asked, there are companies out there charging business to increase search ranking. Should I consider? We are professional search engine optimizers, and we would get an email like that, if not daily, every other day. So I would suggest you want to be very, very careful with wanted approaches. Because for someone to improve your search, they have to have quite a lot of information from you. They have to be able to access the back end of your website. Just be very careful. A lot of those emails are classed spam, so as they come in, I would be looking to put mail. You'll find they'll often come from a Gmail address, and they're a bit dodgy. Just be mindful of them. I just want to show you here. Here's a thing called a sitemap I was telling you about. It's not particularly pretty. It's not meant to be. That's what search engines like to see. It helps them organize the website. So it's a handy thing to have. Same as updating your website. No. The short answer is no, because a booking page belongs to a third-party company like a Bookeasy or RMS or Little Hotelier or something like that. So no, it has no relevance to your website at all. Nice try, May. Wouldn't it be nice if we had to do that? No. So if everyone's ready, we can show where people would like to go. Is it social media or TripAdvisor, or anyone got anything out there you just want to throw at us? Because I'm sitting here talking to a screen, having a lovely time, and I hope you're not all nodding off. I will just do TripAdvisor first, because this is like the monkey in the room. Everyone hates TripAdvisor if you get bad reviews, but we love TripAdvisor if we're planning a trip to go somewhere. A lot of people make their decision on where they travel based on TripAdvisor. And so therefore, if people are writing about you, we need to manage what they're saying about. I have this argument often. People say to me, should you respond to every TripAdvisor comment? And I say yes, whether they're good or bad, you just got to manage it. One fellow said to me once, he said, I just answer 20 million a week, Jeanette. 20 million people a week use TripAdvisor. It's so powerful. Interesting to know that TripAdvisor is now owned by Expedia. Can you believe that? So this fellow said to me, no, I don't respond to the good ones, I just respond to the bad ones. And I thought I couldn't think of anything worse from a customer service point of view. I said to him, if I walked up to your desk and I said, gee, I had a lovely stay, thank you, that bottle of wine was just lovely in my room, you think he'd ignore me? And he said, I said, do it online. It's crucial that you respond to every review. You never offer a discount. You're always humble. I tend not to apologise. I will use the word unfortunate. You just don't know where it could go from a legal point of view. There are cases where if there's a slanderous or nasty review about your property, you can actually get it removed by TripAdvisor. Does anybody have there's my little thing, I'll turn it on. Does anybody have a business listing with TripAdvisor? My business partner and I will argue the toss till the cows come home whether this is worth it or not. It can be quite expensive. Since Expedia's taken over, this little bit of digital real estate is gold. So, Maureen, no, May, you used to, but you cancelled it? Yeah. Why do you, Peter, yeah. Why do you have this? To me, the value is that the customer that wants to have a look at your property has the phone number right in front of them and can click straight through to your hotel website. And of course, the link you'd put behind there would be your booking page. Thanks for that, Donella. Yes, it's highly likely people can have reviews, but you don't have a listing. It's crucial that you go in and take ownership of your listing. Absolutely crucial, because if you don't take ownership of your product listing, you cannot respond to reviews. This little thing I'm talking about now, it's just a bonus thing that will be in for two reasons. One, so that you can phone, email, see a street address, or click through to the website. That's what you pay for. As a bonus with that, you get this thing called, you could have your booking button there. So the trick with this is, and I hope it doesn't bore you senseless, but if you have a business listing, you can then have the opportunity as a consumer to have any of these, booking.com, Qantas, Expedia, hotels.com, you can go in there and compare prices amongst all of online third-party OTAs, online travel agents. But also, you could have your own prices up there. Here's the catch. You have to go into a bidding war against this mob to get your product in this top 3, and that customers don't have to click down. So it's a little bit of a take. Highly competitive environment. This could give you the advantage. How much do you pay for this up here? That's a personal relationship between you and TripAdvisor, but I would say minimum buy-in around about $500 a year. They just tripled their prices, bless their heart. And here's another little, this is one of the things I reckon you should be working TripAdvisor well. It's got nothing to do with online reputation and managing what people are saying about you. But if you go into forums, and just, I know, it's as if you've got like nothing else to do. Let's see. You can actually go into the forums, find out what people are asking questions on, and give them answers that involve your product. So you might be able to, I haven't got enough bandwidth to bring it in now, but you, and I won't bring up your area in case someone doesn't have a nice message, but you can actually go in and just be an everyday punter, and you see people say, I'm driving the Sydney-Melbourne, and I'm coming down the coastal drive. Any suggestions on where I should stay or what I should see? You can go on and say, there's great things to do around here. You might want to stay here. Oh my goodness, it's your own place, and go and see these things. A customer somewhere in the world is asking for that information that you can give that person without necessarily hard selling to them. Any other question on TripAdvisor Donella? This is an extremely important social media that you need to manage, and you can display TripAdvisor a number of ways. You can actually make that you have been rated by 52 travellers. You could even put a live feed in there that I'm sitting on the website. I can actually read what people are saying about the hotel right there and then. I strongly recommend you respond to comments within a couple of days. You can get an alert set to you by TripAdvisor that you've had a review put up. Please respond to it. Now there's a couple of things I do with different clients. You have an option on TripAdvisor, it says build more reviews, and TripAdvisor is effectively saying to you, hey, A, B, C, B and B in Traralgon, you give me your customers' email addresses and we'll email them out a satisfaction survey. And their surveys, their reviews will be fed straight up onto your advisor review. Well, I say go to buggery with that. That means, oops, a partner said, watch it. Because all you're doing is giving them your database. So my recommendation is, and again, it depends who you talk to, more TripAdvisor reviews, or do you want to have less bad TripAdvisor reviews? I've got Vulcan. What they do is they send an email out to every customer within 48 hours of their stay with a personal message from the owner saying, was there anything in particular that you found wrong with our hotel, even if it's a light that didn't work, or could you just tell us because we want to get it fixed so it's right when you next come? What's happened is they're getting many more responses that are actually helping them fix their product, like a bit of torn carpet or a broken light or what have you, and far less complaints on TripAdvisor. So that's a nice balance. Do many people use the attractions information? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's fair to say in the tourism world, and there was a report put out, which I can't put my hands on right now, but it's true to say people search for tourism information, travel information in 3 key places: YouTube and TripAdvisor. And then would be important to be on the local regional tourism association's website, but they're the 3 key places. So Google, got to have your search engine optimization right, and YouTube, if you can have video. I don't care if it's you out there with your iPad, you get a filmmaker in to do it, even if it's a little $400 or $500 video. YouTube is crucial. It's one of the most crucial social medias out there. And of course, that's why Google bought it, because Google owns the world of search with words. And almost, can you believe, 50-50 people are using YouTube to find a video of a product, then they'll go to Google and search it. So not everyone necessarily goes to Google to find things, they're going to YouTube.
Can you hear me now, Lynne? Am I coming through loud and clear?
I can.
You're breaking up a bit just in sound. So what I've been doing is trying to capture some still photographs. I think if I can load these up, then you might be able to actually talk to us still rather than the screen presentation, because I think it's slowing you down a bit.
Okay, mate. I'll shut things that I don't need for sure.
How's everyone else going? Can everyone hear okay? Has anyone got sound problems? I notice May occasionally drops in and out. So if we're doing Facebook now, I've loaded this one up for you. Okay, hopefully it's a little bit clearer now because we've closed the live desktop feed, and hopefully we can run it off stills if that page is good enough for you, Lynne, for the Facebook. And if you need anything else, sing out, and if you give me a minute or two, I could grab it and upload it in the background while you're talking.
Okay. So thank you for fixing that, Paul. I appreciate it. Could you ask some specific questions about Facebook? Because I don't want to come across as telling you how to suck eggs if you know lots and lots of stuff. So is it things like, how do you keep people engaged? Are ads important? There is a general answer, which would be 4 till 6 p.m. any day of the week. If you're talking about stuff to do on the weekend, you might want to make a hump day post on Wednesday. When we do the workshop, we'll show you a little bit behind the scenes where you can go and have a look at your insights. And what's important, your Facebook insights will tell you whether your demographics are male or female, how old they are. So, for example, if your target market was young mothers, then you would be wise to post between 10 and 11 when littlies have gone off to school or the other one's gone down for a nap, or, and I'm not just saying generically let's say stay-at-home parents rather than just women. So you can delve right in and the insights will tell you what time of the day they're online, but generally speaking, 4 till 6. How do I engage my likes? Well, that's $1 million question, Anthony. And all I can say to you is just dare to be different. One of the difficulty is that Facebook has changed its algorithm because it's trying to make even more money than it already is. So 8 months ago, if you had 100 likes, when you put up a posting, 16 people saw it, not your whole 100. And that's one of the big furphies around Facebook in particular. Only 16 people would have seen it. Now they've tweaked it slightly and 4 people see it. I'm not saying you shouldn't have Facebook, and more than ever, I think you should have Facebook. If anyone's familiar with when you do a post, here, you might put it up and it'll say, would you like to boost this post? That's an absolute waste of money. Absolute waste of money. So, so bearing in mind, if I write something here, only 4 of my 100 people will see it. And who are those 4? The 4 that have interacted most with me recently. The top 4 people who have clicked like, who have shared one of my comments, or made a comment. So it's pretty sucky. But I have to say, having a Facebook page is critical. You need to have it to sit alongside your website, because I think after Google, or YouTube, then TripAdvisor, then Facebook. Facebook is a huge influencer in the world of travel, because friends talk about their travel and they share images. So how do you get people to like you? You have to find what they're interested in about. And I know that sounds terribly evasive, but if I were to say to you, you're going to a strange town, you're going to walk into a pub, you're going to buy a beer, and you're going to sit down beside someone. And if you looked at them and said, "G'day, stay 4, pay 3, drank your beer and walked off," you haven't engaged them. And if you continually do that, push out information rather than asking for information back, you're not going to engage your likes. So I always take myself back to that pub or the CWA or the cafe, wherever it is you want to meet your friends. What do you do to make friends? You start talking to them, get to know them. So we have clients, for example, that I know, a client in Melbourne, we can put up any amount of information about what's coming up in Melbourne and where to buy the best fascinator for Melbourne Cup and all that nonsense. What do they go ballistic about? The picture of inside an apartment. I couldn't think of anything more nauseating. And they all go on about what apartment it is and what number it is and how exciting. It's funny what turns people on. We use animals a lot. So if you have an attraction that features a welcoming kelpie or something, then make that kelpie the face of your Facebook. People love animals. That's why Tourism Australia is so impressive. Also, they've got $4 million to play on Facebook, but they use koalas, like there's no tomorrow. People love animals. Snakes have been my most popular image on Facebook. Absolutely, mate. We had a caravan park in Mackay, had a goanna called Twiggy. Anyhow, so I was Facebooking for them, and I started talking as Twiggy. And I went along for a while talking about how the beach was lovely, and I'm asleep under cabin 6 at the moment, but it's okay. I'm keeping the snakes down, because that's why you have goannas, I believe. So I said, look, it's Twiggy here. I'm very lonely. I'm looking for love. And I only had 300 followers for that client at that stage. Next minute, I'm getting photographs of lizards from Port Macquarie with people saying, do you think Twiggy would be interested in her? In him. No, that's right. I thought Twiggy was a girl. Anyhow, so everything was fine. I thought Twiggy was a boy until Twiggy got pregnant and had babies. So that got a bit complicated, and transgender goanna talk didn't work over Facebook. But it was a bit of a hoot, a bit of a giggle. People fell in love with Twiggy. People wanted to go to that caravan park to see Twiggy. Spoken as a dolphin for very Monkey Mire over in Western Australia. So animals really work, and it can make it fun. Because the one thing that keeps people engaged is having fun. When posting about random decides to post my business page. Here's a question. When posting from my phone, it randomly decides to post to my business page as me personally, not my business. Goes to no one. Yeah. That shouldn't happen. And if you come to one of our workshops, we'll have a look at your phone, Liz. Oh, May, you're having trouble? It might have a snake on your line. I think it's making it. We've lost May. So there's no right or wrong answer. But when you do find something that interests them, keep coming back to that. The things to remember is ask your people a question, but not a ridiculous question like, "Oh, thank God it's Friday. Are you having?" "Oh, hello, Penny." Don't those stupid comments like, "Oh, thank God it's Friday. Are you having coffee?" That's really boring. That's so last Tuesday. Nobody's interested. But if you have an attraction, and let's say that attraction is I don't know, throw it out there, I don't know, lavender farm or something. I'm going to want a lavender recipe. I'm going to want you to ask me, what's my favorite lavender thing? Why do I use lavender? If you're who's an attraction? Someone said attraction. I'll just answer Anthony. I've seen some businesses using Facebook as their main online access, replacing their website. Is it a wise move? That's a bit, well, it does, yeah, it does depend on the product. If I was to say I'm not going to go and invest in a desktop website, before I'd have a Facebook only page, I would have a mobile site. If I was in a Sparky or a hairdresser, don't even have a desktop site, just have a mobile site. To have a standalone Facebook page, risky. Fabulous view B&B. Well, from a B&B, I would expect recipes. From a B&B, I would expect all the delicious things that happen in and around your B&B. Anyone, in actual fact, whether it's a B&B or it's any product, your conversation on Facebook should start along the lines of all the reasons they should come to your region. Something else coming up here. All the reasons they should come to your region. Talk about where they are. You use the 80-20 rule. Only 20% of the time should you be offering them a deal. Thanks, Paul. One of the things people hate on Facebook is deal after deal after deal. However, people will often, hello May, people will often sign up and actively find a business Facebook page for the sole purpose of thinking, I'm part of their community, they will give me a deal. What is the difference between likes and visits? Well, let me think about that. Likes and visits. On a Facebook page, do you mean? What's the difference?
When you're looking at the Facebook page, can you see my mouse, Lynne?
Yes.
Where you got the 5 stars and then you got 940 likes or 665 visits. I always understood visits as when people are actually checking in somewhere on Facebook as opposed to liking the page. Is that correct?
Absolutely. And see this here? Big tip. That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Is asking what's the difference between the likes and the visits. Do you maybe want to explain a little bit more about what is a like and what is a visit?
Oh, Peter's asked, visit, when it says checking in, it means that some people really love it when they go, in this case, a Wild Coast Cruises, they will go with their phone and they'll check in where they are through Google Maps or through Facebook. They'll check in and say, I'm at Cows at Victoria, and up will come a whole heap of listings, and one of them might be Wildlife Cruises, and they go checking in. So that all of their social media followers know exactly where they are right there and then. And it's gold for the likes of this Wildlife Cruises.
That's right. And if it works, you can only do it on a mobile device. So on my phone there, you might see the check-in button, which is on the phone in the video if your video is now working. But you don't see a check-in button when you're on a desktop because Facebook actually knows when you're on a mobile device.
Thank you, Paul. People checking in is really cool. It's another way of amplifying your name. You have a couple of ways that you can grow your likes. This one here. You can, oops, the daisy shouldn't have done that. You can buy them or you can earn them. So earning means that just through people you know, inviting your friends to invite their friends, you start to just build a number of likes without having to spend any money. But I'm a big believer in taking out Facebook ads, which you can see them over here. These are Facebook ads. They are very inexpensive and very effective. You simply have to make a choice when you take out Google Ads, and you might only put $100 down and see how long it lasts. Could last a month. You have a choice as to if you actually, somebody clicks on your ad, they have a choice to go to your Facebook page and become a like, or they can be directed through to a page within your website. And that's a marketing decision you'd have to make. But it's a very, 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 very cost-effective way and very targeted. So you could say, I'm targeting men or women between this age that live in these geographic areas and have searched in Facebook on things relating to travel, animals, surfing, Gippsland, whatever it is, you can drill right down.
So how does that vary when you're placing an ad on Facebook compared to when you boost a post, which before you said was pretty much a waste of time? How do you do that differently? How do you place an ad as opposed to boost a post?
If you can, because I'm working in a static page, I can't take you through to the settings, but it's in the back end of your Facebook page. It can be place your ad here. Often you'll see down the right hand side.
And we can cover that during the workshops.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Paul. And the main difference between a boost and taking an ad, the ad you get to choose which demographic, which location, and which likes. Whereas if you just go boost and you place an amount of money that you're pledging with Facebook to boost your post, they'll send it to whoever, random people that may not meet your demographics, likes, geographical catchment. So that. I think that the other ways to get likes for free is hand out your business cards and it's got your Facebook address on the back. Have a sign at your reception. One of the biggest marketing opportunities that many of us don't use well enough is to actually put it in your email signature. You think about how many emails you send out or respond to every day. If you had a message down there that could be who you are, because you usually have your title and your address and a link through to your website, and you may have a link through to your Facebook page, that's really good. The other thing you might want to do is just put special offers. Change your special offers in your email signature. You can change them as often as you want. One of the things, if I'm going to put a deal up on Facebook, I would make it exclusive to your Facebook customers for a period of 24 or 48 hours. Because that's looking after your mates, back to the pub. G'day, mate, got a deal, mates rates, come on. As opposed to just going out to general public. I know, for example, that Virgin Airlines, for example, use Twitter and will have $9 fares for 9 minutes on Twitter, and it's nothing for them to sell 2,500 seats in 9 minutes. On your website, promote to get likes and have it in your compendium. I mean, put it everywhere in their face. How often should a business update Facebook message? E.g., 10 times a day, once a day, twice a week, or as often as possible? That's a great question. Thank you. In my opinion, no more than 3 times a week. How often can you go to the digital pub? But what you need to do is check it daily. So I Facebook for a number of customers, one being, thanks Paul, one being we love caravanning and camping. three times a week maximum, but I check it every day. Because today somebody came in and said, could I have one of your manuals? I'm going up to stay somewhere near the Queensland border in New South Wales. No problem. What's your mailing address? Thank you. Send it out. So you just got to check it down, because if somebody speaks to you or somebody makes a comment, be sure you click like underneath their comment. Let them know that you're looking, watching and appreciating their comments on your Facebook page. Thank you, Paul. So advertise on Facebook. There are your options, but we will go through that at our seminar. So with 3 minutes left to go, any last questions? Anything you want to know, including latest medication for menopause? Anything you want to know?
May's typing.
Good. Oh, May, that's a great question. Instagram is vital. Instagram is owned by Facebook, and we need to show Facebook as much love as possible. Oh, thank you, Paul. What I will show, and what Paul's just brought up here, is in behind photos is where any Instagram images you upload to share with Facebook go to 2 places. As a post, which you can do on your mobile phone, so you can only use Instagram from your mobile phone. So initially you take the photo out on the boat or at the attraction or whatever, upload it here with I'm here having a great time, la da 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 da. People commented, that's nice, and at the same time it's filed up in photos. So it becomes part of this delicious, rich gallery of images. So I think it's really important wherever possible to have a phone that has an Instagram account that feeds through to your business Facebook page, and make sure one of your staff, particularly if you're an attraction or you're a cruise boat or even a B&B and you've got beautiful surrounds, if there's a bird comes in or something, snap it. And there's 2 things you do. One, it's on your Instagram account, and people are searching Instagram like no tomorrow. That's where you need to do this thing called hashtag. And that's a whole nother conversation. But what's really important is use Instagram to take great photos to feed content up to Facebook. And that can be one of your 3 postings a week. It's good time saving. How can you stop others using your photos without crediting your business? Look, that's another great question. And I actually think, in a nutshell, does it matter? Let them use the more people that are sharing your image, the more you're going to be known. Now, if you're putting images up through your camera via your desktop, of course, you can put a watermark over it. Okay, I'm just getting my Brains Trust sitting beside me said that it is possible to get an app on your mobile phone that app talks to this app called Instagram, and you could actually put a watermark across it. So you could put your web address across the photo or your business name across the photo. And everywhere it goes, everywhere it's shared, is gold. But the whole basis of Australia's Instagram account there is about sharing photos. I think Instagram is the least expensive, most fabulous tool. And I'd ask, your local tourism association or tourism manager, what is their hashtag? Because what happens is, in a simplistic way with hashtags, is say for example, hashtag Gippsland was it. So I'm at a fabulous view B&B. I take a photo, it goes up on Instagram, I shoot it up to Facebook at the same time, and I put, the echidna walking through our backyard, hashtag Gippsland. The Gippsland tourism social media person does this troll across the internet looking for anyone who's hashtagged Gippsland, if that's the word, and they go, oh, that's good, I'm going to take that picture of the echidna going across the backyard of Fabulous View B&B and I'm going to use it, and they credit you with it. So it's sharing the love.
That's fabulous. I've just got another slide coming up now, Lynn, and this particular one is the Instagram account of my wife, Lorraine, and a little bit of a promo for this one. There's my wife. The reason I brought that up is because Lorraine uses that app to do that watermark you spoke about earlier. So you can see the lorry 57 there. So every single image that Lorraine does, she always puts that little Laurie57. And Lorraine doesn't know a great deal about computers and phones and things, but she's very proud of herself, the way that she's attacked her Instagram account.
Yeah, very nice. I used to go to school in a 57, Laurie. Different spelling there. Yeah, that's very nice. Oh, lovely photography. Okay, that's a great example.
I think we've probably taken enough of Lynne's time tonight. We've just clocked over the hour. So I guess unless there's any last-minute burning questions that anyone really wanted to try and get covered before we go, I can see May's typing at the moment. But Lynne, just while that's coming up there, can I just sincerely thank you so much for your time, not only tonight, but also for the workshops, which will be held on the 21st and 22nd of April in Traralgon and Bairnsdale, respectively. Yeah, that's a good idea. We can put our cameras back on there. On those particular days, respectively. And in the emails that I've sent to everyone from Creating Smart Connections, there is a direct link where you can register for those workshops through Destination Gippsland. The actual venue is yet to be fully confirmed, depending on how many numbers we get. But Lynne, for people who are attending those workshops, apart from yourself and Linda, who's hiding in the background, but we just saw her pop down there, what can we actually expect at those workshops?
Okay, I think it's a much more intimate look at everybody who attends website. It's those little inside tips and tools for doing, really the biggest component is getting your SEO right, and there's lots of free tools to do that. And it will feed across. When you actually as a business establish what your keywords are, you use them in your ATDW data listing. Is that Visit Victoria's data listing?
Correct, yep.
You use it in the content of your site. You use it absolutely everywhere. So it's crucial you get that nailed. And then we have a play in social media, and we start to think more about how we build a story that does engage people, and we come up with a calendar. It's a lot of fun. It's very interactive.
That should be great. So it should be a terrific day. Well, Lynne, thank you very much. There's no more questions I can see there, but it certainly looks like lots of thank yous from people. Do apologise that there were a few sound issues. I'm not sure whether it was the live screen display, but I think it might have sped up a little bit after that. So we know that for next time, Lynne, to maybe pre-select some slides in advance. But hopefully you were able to hear most of it. And again, thank you so much for participating in our webinar.
Thank you. I hope to see everyone down in Victoria. Thank you for your lovely comments.